Good evening and welcome. It is a Friday night at 8 p.m. right here on SABC News Channel 404, and that means it's Trendz Live time. My name is Kansani Koza, but because we're family now, please call me Candy. I really do hope that you are buckled in for an amazing evening ahead. A little later on the show, we will navigate education and awareness about resilience and triumphs of women and men who have overcome gender-based violence as well as domestic violence, which is still a highly concerning and baffling phenomenon. And there is a dance showcase piece that has been created to inspire meaningful change and address these very aspects. But first, after a long week, it's always great to get a snapshot of entertainment news from across the globe. This week, we hear from content producer Refilwe Matsela as she runs us through the big topics, including social media, film, and music, both locally and internationally. Take a look.
She's back, ladies and gentlemen. Actress Cameron Diaz now stars in her first movie after years of a noticeable absence. The Charlie Angel star now features in a new film titled Back in Action, which is an action comedy, also starring the multi-talented Jamie Foxx as the pair play two retired CIA agents.
Oh man, so excited to be here in Berlin, doing our thing. Cameron here, got my daughter here. The movie's off the chain, and can't wait for people to check it out once again on the 17th. So get it. Happy birthday, Martin Luther King.
The fact that he was, going to be the person that I'm going to leave my family to go spend 10 hours a day on a set and create with. You don't want to do that with just anybody. You got to do it. For me, I had to do it with somebody that I was guaranteed that I knew what I was getting into, and I knew, his talent unmatched, his partnership and his professionalism unmatched, and I knew we were just going to have a great time.
With the looming ban of TikTok in America, several social media creators are turning to other social media apps that will allow them to continue sharing their content. Chinese social media app Rednote is gaining those leaving TikTok.
It'll just be like we wake up on the 20th and it either doesn't work or it still does. It's probably better for my productivity because I use it a lot. But also I know a lot of people rely on the app, like influencers, and a lot of brands do a lot of marketing through TikTok, and I definitely hear about a lot of like restaurants, cafes, products through TikTok. So I'm curious to see kind of what the impact would be on a lot of people that rely on that for their primary source of marketing.
I use it a lot, but I use it for cooking and stuff like that, so I really like it. But besides that, I'm like, it's not really gonna affect me too much. But I will be sad because I use it for everything: cleaning, cooking, how to get places, that kind of stuff.
Nominations for the BAFTA Film Awards were announced this week with a special mention and show of support for victims and rescuers of the California wildfires.
Before we begin, on behalf of everyone at BAFTA, our thoughts are with colleagues, friends and peers, and all those affected by the devastating wildfires in the Los Angeles area.
We would also like to express our profound gratitude for the fire and rescue services who have worked tirelessly to save lives and protect homes.
The wildfires in California seem to be causing an effect even on us here in Mzansi, with Glen 21 Entertainment making an announcement that award-winning singer Keisha Cole will not be performing in Cape Town, Johannesburg and Pretoria anymore. She, like many other stars, have been greatly affected by the disastrous fires in LA, with the star's home burning down. That's all for this week. Stay trendy.
And that is our news wrap for this week. Cape Town is embracing a greener future, and leading the charge is the Hemp Emporium. This impressive building, constructed using sustainable hemp materials, is one of the tallest of its kind in the city. It's a stunning example of modern design meeting conscious innovation. Join us as we uncover how this unique space is redefining sustainable living in Cape Town. Cape Town is embracing a greener future, and leading the charge is the Hemp Emporium, one of the tallest buildings of its kind in the city.
This is a first, it's the tallest building in the world built in hemp. From the material hemp, they've used it in the concrete in the street. And we know that hemp has many uses. And the benefit of this is it reduces the carbon footprint, and it's also environmentally friendly. And it's a wonderful material. We know that you use them for many different uses. The building has 54 rooms, and they cater for different needs, obviously. This is the penthouse. It's absolutely a wonderful space to be in. The rooms are downstairs, and the entertainment area is here with a beautiful view of the mountain behind us. And I think a definite visit on if you come to Cape Town.
This versatile venue highlights modern design and unique commitment to sustainable living.
There's a fantastic store downstairs. It's Hemp Emporium. They sell clothing and different accessories, bags, all made from the product of hemp. So it's a definite material that can be supported for future use.
The store features a range of items from household goods to clothing and merchandise, all promoting sustainable living. I want us to talk about perhaps the design of the penthouse. It's very smart, so it's very modern. As much as it reduces carbon footprint, it's also catering to the tech side of things. Everything here is electronic.
Yeah, it's a wonderful new concept in Cape Town. And it basically hubs around work and play, so that you can play and work in the same area and stay. And I think that's a wonderful initiative, and I totally believe it will be an international rollout, because I think it's a wonderful project, and anything that supports the environment in a better way obviously is sustainable for tomorrow, and that's great. Cape Town, we know, is innovative, and Cape Town's always moving with trends. And there are smart people in the city of Cape Town, not downgrading anybody else in any other city. The point is, yes, we know that Cape Town is a very creative hub, and a lot of people in Cape Town are always thinking outside the box and using new materials. I, as an artist, am going to incorporate hemp in my artworks, and I think it's a wonderful initiative. It's a product that's natural, and it's obviously widely available.
Space so versatile, it allows for zen moments that accompany the serene mountain views of the city. It's giving whoosah. Now, after the break, we speak to the founder and winners of the International Junior Miss Competition, a groundbreaking and innovative approach to the growth of young girls and the world of pageantry in South Africa, as they near their 5th annual IGMSA, which will take place in the stunning Western Cape, highlighting empowerment, mental health awareness, and digital skills. But trendy, trust me, we don't want to miss it. Don't forget to engage with us on X. We are at Trendz on SABC. Now, did you know that an ideal and creative workspace needs to appeal to all your senses? This assists in ensuring that creatives become more productive. So Workshop 17 in Hydepark, north of Johannesburg, seems to be the perfect spot to holistically keep anyone functioning in their optimum capacity. This simply through a conducive and aesthetically pleasing environment. Let's find out how a workspace can be transformed into what feels like a home away from home.
A building revamped to heighten the psychological and physiological aspects of growth. Arriving here feels like entering a hotel instead of a workspace. Various creatives gather in this environment for different projects. You see, it was designed with elements to stimulate the senses.
We think everyone deserves a beautiful workspace. There's no reason to work in an ugly space. There's also no reason to sit in a cubicle the whole day. It's really a space to feel alive, also to connect with others, and to have different qualities of space throughout the whole building that you can use so you're not confined. We all sat at home during COVID, and what we missed is really the human touch the human engagement, the welcoming, the hospitality that we try to provide to people coming here. Colleagues are the people that we see most during the day, but not only colleagues of your own company, also colleagues of other companies. So when you're a marketing company, you can meet a tech company here, you can meet lawyers here, you can meet designers here. So the variety of people you can meet all contribute to the experience. We wanted to create a space where lots of accidental meetings happen.
And while connecting, you bask in an attractive space where the architecture, aesthetics and interior decor were intentionally curated.
The approach to this design was trying to create a multi-sensory environment that invites members to engage within the space in different and also meaningful ways. So by designing to activate the 5 basic senses and then also taking into account the indoor and the outdoor environment and how we can connect to nature and also seasonal change even from our desks. Research has really shown that our connection with nature is not just about providing a sensory haven, but it's also mentally and physically restorative. I would argue that we don't want to create trendy spaces, we want to create timeless spaces. Trends are something that will come and go, but the idea is that in a space, in an environment like this, we want to bring about a level of comfort, and that comfort has to have longevity. So when the material choices or even the color palettes, it needs to be something that's soothing, that's warm, that's inviting. Then we've brought in darker, more bolder accents like your green, the dark sort of browns, those richer tones in areas where we want to energize and uplift. Good design is something that's also soothing to the eyes. And this is where color, texture and light play a very big role in actually feeding that sense.
Artwork and technology are big attractions. Here's how you actually get to book a room or spot suitable for your meeting. This literally shows us the room we're about to enter.
Correct. It shows you the room, it shows if there's any particular events coming up, and it's got a QR code that you open up your app, you can scan it and it'll automatically take off the cost of it from your space credits. I think technology has a huge role to play in how we manage the built environment, and we've built a lot of tech over the years to give that what I call Disney experience, so people can seamlessly book meeting rooms, park, buy coffees and lunches, all seamlessly on a single platform. They get their invoices on a platform, just everything just works really well. If you're looking for a web developer or accountant or lawyer, you can easily just go into our directory and find those particular skills. You'll see where they're working, you can contact them. We're very committed to supporting artists in South Africa, and we feel that art plays a really important role to shape what are the current issues facing our world. And indeed, if the art can do that, it can actually help set the intention of this productive environment.
Did you know that plants and greenery contribute to creating the ambience for any place? This rooftop was once a space for air conditioners. It has now been transformed into an attraction which creates more positivity.
It has a therapeutic and very calming effect on the occupants within the space. So one can have informal meetings out there. For lunch, one can be seated out there. Events are held within that space. So it becomes really an extension of the workspace itself. And nature also has the sounds that are very sort of therapeutic, tranquil, and have a calming effect on the environment.
I think the mere fact that you're looking at plants, that's a big, lift. There's a great view from here, so you've got long views that also supports your kind of psychological state of mind.
An environment which engages the occupants in meaningful ways. A true reflection of the magic which happens when internal and external architecture are focused on delighting the senses.
South Africa's young talent continues to make waves on the international stage, with our girls shining brightly at the prestigious International Junior Miss Competition in Virginia, the USA. Not only did they bring home incredible awards, but they also caught the eyes of international casting agencies, further cementing South Africa's presence in global pageantry and entertainment. Joining us to discuss this remarkable journey and what lies ahead for aspiring young talent is Tidima Lotlabi, the visionary founder of International Junior Miss South Africa, Zipoguhle Mgadi, Miss South Africa Teen, and Lesedi Sekgapane, who is also Miss South Africa Teen. Welcome to Trendz Live, ladies.
Thank you.
I hope I didn't butcher anybody's names.
No,
not too bad.
no.
Okay, I'm so glad.
Yeah.
Competition because you guys are so poised and so together. But listen, we'll get to you ladies now. I have to go to you, T. Congratulations on actually starting this pageantry. Like, what actually inspired you to do this?
Basically, I was inspired by my little girl. When she was 2 years old, she was an introvert of note.
Okay.
And a preschool teacher said, you know what, take her to modeling and see what happens. This was like 16 years ago.
Wow.
And she started modeling at the age of 2, and it went on for 14 years. We do a lot of pageants around South Africa. But they were always confirming a same-looking type girl, and I just felt like we need to enlarge this platform and allow other girls the opportunity to also be seen.
Yeah.
And then I went outside of I've started with one-day pageants, did a lot of those around South Africa.
Okay.
And then I then went outside of South Africa into the US, found International Junior Miss.
Wow.
Took 2 girls there in 2019, absolutely loved the experience. Came back, applied for directorship, and now I am the director for International Junior Miss for 5 years now in South Africa.
Just look at that. I love that you were fueled by something and you've taken it to like the next level. But how does it feel for you to see our girls, you know, be recognized and celebrated on a global stage?
You know what? It is one of those things, you know, sometimes when you do something, there's so much that you put in. And when you see the results, my heart just melts. I mean, these girls, I know Lissetti's coming back the second time, and then she won the second time. She was on international stage in January, and she did amazingly well, you know, and you see them grow. No pageant experience at all when she came through, and then you see her evolved into the supermodel, essentially, and you know what, your heart melts, like, wow, you know what, I am making a difference. I am doing something that is making a difference in the young ones' lives. And I mean, I was also recognized as Gauteng Woman of the Year investing in girls category last year.
I feel like she deserves a round of applause for that. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So amazing.
So it has really been an experience. I didn't think it was going to be as huge as it is now, and as life-changing as it is, because it's more than pageantry.
Yes.
We do runway, we do talent, we do spokesmodel, young author, academic excellence. We always brag and say beauty with brains. In fact, yesterday we saw one of our previous queens that recently got 8 distinctions for matric, and I was like, hey now!
That is so amazing, because it's more than just
pageantry. It's really like-minded girls coming together in the name of pageantry, but to do so much more.
To do so much more. And I love how the ladies are nodding and agreeing with you. I mean, T was just saying now that you came back a second time and won the second time. Did you feel like disheartened when you didn't make it the first time around?
No, not at all. I saw it as an experience, as a lesson when I first entered. I didn't have high hopes, but I got into the top 5 and I was like, wow, I actually can do this. This is wonderful. And I learned humbleness from that. I learned patience and dedication, because I came back a second time, and now
I'm sure that's what fueled you as well. You were just like, you know what, if I can make it that far, let me come back and show these people what I'm made of.
Yes, exactly.
But Z, to you, like, tell us a little bit more about like your experience and how this journey has been for you.
So this is only my second pageant.
Ever?
But when and what we okay. And the experience was amazing. Yeah. I was shocked. I didn't expect to get into the top 5, but then, God willingly, I was like, you're not top 5. I was like, okay. And they were like, okay. They called the 4th runner-up, the 3rd runner-up, the 2nd runner-up. I was like, oh, I'm left. I'm still gonna hold hands with someone. You know? And it was amazing when they announced my name. I was so overjoyed. The experience is amazing.
And so what's next then for you guys? You win these titles, what now? Or what would you hope for, at least?
I'm going to be participating in internationals again in 2025 to 2026. So that's my next step. But hopefully one day I'll be on the Miss South Africa stage.
Yes, please.
For you, Z?
And I will also be participating in the International Junior Miss in America, Los Angeles, 2026 January.
My gosh, guys, I feel like the Trendz team needs to put together money so we can come and watch it.
That would be awesome.
That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
T, earlier on, we were just speaking about how, you know, pageantry is not just about the beauty on the outside. And you also spoke about the different categories that the girls go through, but you've also done a lot of other things. I mean, doing the cruise, pageantry part of it was like something so groundbreaking, and this was the 4th year that you've done it. Walk us through a little bit about what that is all about.
So basically, the main purpose, why International Junior Miss South Africa, And why do I say it's different? We go to different provinces every year, so we encourage tourism. We encourage tourism among the youth. I mean, South Africa is one of those countries that hardly travel. So we go to different provinces, and then last year we thought, you know what? 2023 we're not hosting, 2024 we'll be hosting on the MEC cruise.
What?
And when I said that, everybody's like, tease, you know, like, girl, what are you saying?
Yeah.
You know? And you successfully so. We hosted our fourth annual IJM on the MSC cruise in December, and it was 400 guests that we brought through onto the ship, 100 girls, including our royalty girls.
Wow.
So it was absolutely amazing. I mean, the experience. I think after we all left the cruise, we felt like we were walking like this for the first week.
But it must have been also such an amazing experience.
And the girls had to walk in the ship
while it was moving.
Imagine.
But just the one, so that means you have that thing up there.
Okay.
I think that's such an innovative way to just like take on pageantry, because like the world is changing, and the fact that we're not only just doing it in South Africa differently, but on cruises and internationally as well, it's just so remarkable.
And for the kids, because what I find is that once a girl is in Miss South Africa and they win, that is when South Africa gets excited. I think we need to change that notion, and they need to invest in grassroots pageantry, because for me, I see pageantry as a sport. They were the most fantastic shoes, other than sportsmen, other sports groups. So I really think there should be more attention from arts and culture to invest in pageants in South Africa, because you're competing against the likes of your UK, your Australia, your US, big countries where pageantry is a big thing, and they come with a huge lot of support from their countries, and we literally have to, you know what,
and you're doing it, and that's why you're also part of this today. And people that are at home can actually just watch. But I want to wrap it up with the two ladies. I mean, what would be just your message to the girls out there that would actually want to do this and don't think it's really for them? Just 10 seconds each. Let's go.
Pageantry is going to teach you a lot of life skills that you've never thought you would ever gain from this. It's going to teach you discipline. It's going to teach you etiquette. It's going to teach you how to carry yourself in front of people. And, you know, you're going to build bonds. It's something that you should really consider entering in.
Love that, Lesedi. And Z?
Hold the vision and trust the process. That is my motto always. If you want to enter pageantry, enter it. Follow your heart. Do what you want to do. You'll enjoy it. Because if you do something that you don't want to do, you won't enjoy it. So enter pageantry. Do your best, you'll love it.
And give it your all, and these ladies have it. I love that you've also just inspired them along this journey and supported them. You heard it from the ladies. I mean, me myself, I've never done pageantry, but I did try to doll up just for my girls today. And I'm just super, super excited to see what the, next phase of IGMSA is gonna be all about. Right now, though, we are taking a quick ad break, and when we come back, but Trendy, there's still gonna be so much more action coming your way. Right here on SABC News, Channel 404, Skasuta. Welcome back to Trendz Live. The journey to wellness has begun, and many of us are looking for ways to keep sane, improve our moods, get stronger, and of course, tone up. Bokendiso. Movement is an essential part of our well-being that should not be taken for granted. Pilates is one of the ways to improve your body's strength, muscle development, and flexibility. Lovers of this form of exercise see improved posture, increased energy, as well as weight loss. Our producer, Refilo Matsela, put her abilities to the test with registered and experienced biokineticist, Pilates, and yoga instructor Justine Johnson, who loves working with people and helping them improve in all areas of their life.
On a journey relating to fitness and wellness for many years. From her studio, she leads various classes, including Pilates, where men and women come to be truly tested and unlock a better lifestyle with the help of her biokinetics expertise. I joined her class on a morning filled with some very impressive ladies.
Can't lie, I am sweating a little. I've been doing Pilates for almost 20 years, and it all started with a bit of a stiff lower back, and I have to say that's gone now. I think my biggest motivator is when Justine said if you lose your mobility, you lose your independence. and that's something that I never want to be or let happen to me, because I still have so much I want to do in my life.
And what have you enjoyed most about today's class? Is there a particular move you can flash us back to?
Rolling like a ball, and more than anything, it's just the camaraderie of the girls.
The work of a biokineticist is to help prevent, intervene with certain ailments, and to enhance performance in sport, work, and daily life. These principles are added into Justine's classes.
The biggest misconception is that Pilates is for women. Joseph Pilates was a man, and obviously with that name, and worked with boxers initially. That was his preferred client base, and then the dancers cottoned onto it, and somehow, especially in South Africa, it seems to be that everyone thinks that it's a Pilates, it's for ladies, and that it's easy. I have got at least 40% of my clients are men, because when it's taught right, it's really not easy. There's a lot to do and get everything to work at the, in the correct order to get the right strength, so that, like Lisa said, you can take that into other things. Take the understanding that you learn about your body here into your other sports and your other activities.
Don't be scared. It's not anything where you're going to injure yourself, because Justine, being a biokineticist, knows every part of the body. So just embrace.
I've been doing Pilates also for about 20 years, and it's a wonderful recovery if you've been through anything. I went through ovarian cancer, had chemo, and Pilates kept me strong. Justine helped me get back into everything. It's been absolutely wonderful. I'd say don't put Pilates down as just stretching. I think you saw today it's not just stretching. It's a good workout, and it's just so good for you.
After the challenging class, spirits were high, and that rush of endorphins is just undeniable, even for myself, who was on the struggle bus.
I think people think it's a luxury to come here, but it's not. It's actually a necessity for life.
Yeah, a necessity,
absolutely for life. Yeah.
Just start, begin, and see how nice it is. And Justine will take you through it.
Yeah.
She'll start you slowly.
And anyone else recovering from any specific injuries?
All of us.
All of us. Everyone thinks that Pilates and core exercises are stomach exercises, and that's what it is. So the way that I work with the body, with the understanding through the Pilates and the yoga and the biokinetics, is that it's actually an apple core. It starts at the tip of your toes and comes right up through the center of the body, and it ends in the crown of your head. So if you've got strength in your core and in your midline, your center line, everything else will be strong and will be supported, because you've got the support in your very, very center. Which for me also follows through into life, because if you've got a strong body, you've got a stronger mind, and then you are then able to navigate the challenges that you face in the world.
The equipment was interesting to see, and since they were not heavy weights, one would underestimate them.
I want people to first feel and understand how to engage the muscles that I'm looking for, because if you don't have a feedback, it's much harder to find it. So especially for you joined us and you'd never felt it before, I needed you to know how to find the muscles. And then we moved on to the Pilates Magic Circle, which is a classical piece of equipment. It's part of the sequence that Joseph Pilates devised. My clients, they all complain when it comes out, because it makes the session much harder. So it creates resistance to engage better, so that you get more out of the workout. And then we did the Pilates mat routine. But another misconception I think about Pilates is that everyone thinks that it's a mat and a ball, and actually it's the reformer and the Cadillac and the wonder chairs and the baby chair.
I also got to see what an advanced Pilates student looks like and how in tune she was while engaging the all-important core, relaxing shoulders, and gaining that mind and body connection. I can't wait to be so advanced.
Gender-based violence remains an undesirable topic and, of course, a scourge devastating communities and the country at large. It has become evident that more awareness needs to be raised and solutions emphasized through various platforms. The theatre is a very powerful platform to address this critical social ill. Gontse, a groundbreaking and thought-provoking GBV dance showcase piece, will soon premiere at the Soweto Theatre. In studio, we're joined by spokesperson and TV and film actress Dr. Maputi Kasu and director Disimelo Makanda to discuss this production. Thank you so much for joining us. I know off air we were busy speaking about your name. Please can you say it for the people at home, because I think Mama don't chapa today.
Disimelo.
Disimelo. Yes. Okay, but D, that is what we're going to go with today.
That's okay, I'll be D for today.
We'll be D for today. But Maputi, I mean, you know, GBV and just, you know, violence against women in South Africa is just like a very taboo thing, and it's such a phenomenon that we're all experiencing. But what actually inspired creating this showpiece?
I think the inspiration behind Gontse, above all, is realizing, beyond saying that it's enough, but realizing the proximity of how close it is to any of us. Like in Sesotho we say, meaning it can happen to anyone. Yeah. Meaning that the proximity will be like, Batu, like that one, or manager or that one that I thought. So it's that realization that makes us realize that it's closer more than it is far away from us. And I think that's where the inspiration comes from, and the fact that it's one message that completely needs to completely be punted all the time, because we can't stop. We cannot afford to stop even for one day, because one day, one life lost, or too many lives, or 1 second, one life lost.
That's
just
very,
like that.
very true. So many things are happening in a country that trigger the need for the conversation, and I'm glad that you ladies did this. But Dee, I mean, you directed this, and you did it with a very legendary, you know, person, jazz legend Tlali Makene. What are some of the essential conversations that we'll actually see in the showpiece?
The conversations that we will see in this piece, we actually look at gender-based violence for what it is. I mean, we look at sexual abuse, we look at emotional abuse, psychological abuse, and physical abuse. And in the conversations that we had with my creative team, it was that let us tell this message and be as authentic as we can about it. Because let's face it, when we talk gender-based violence, it's not a nice topic, and it's a sad reality that you find that everyone is bleeding. But because we are performers, we are artists, we had to find a way of how do we tell it. And when we talk about Tlali Makene, he's a legend. He's sensitive, especially with the music that he composed purely for the show, because we wanted to make sure that our message is not muddled up, it's not confused, and we make sure that we address every issue, and someone who's sitting in the audience can be able to relate and see themselves through the topics that we chose from gender-based violence.
Yeah, because so I think it's an opportunity for people to just also, you know, relate to something. I mean, Maputi, it's this piece is also very much about like real life experiences, and I mean, you've kind of shared your journey as well of certain things that you've also experienced. But why was it so important for you to be involved in this production?
I think I would first and foremost say that this is the first time in my life and in my experience of being a GBV survivor that I actually speak out about it. Because I think every time, you know, people look at you, but go that other show, and people sit in such awe of you, such respect. And when it happened to me, it was that thing at first that, oh my goodness, there will be a stigma around this. You know, there's that first silence of hoping that, okay, I can get through this by myself, and sometimes you can't. Sometimes you need to reach out, because, and also being afraid of doing the right thing. I think the hardest thing for me was saying, okay, I'm going to have to lay charges, because I'd laid them the first time and then said, you know what, you know, you coerced, you say, no, drop, no, you know, it's sugar-coated. And also you're saying, you know what, because the love is there. You know, love keeps us there, love takes us home. And you think, okay, you know what, let me try again. And then it happened to a very escalated level where I almost died. I mean, I still had like, the last straw was when I found myself, I was hospitalized
paralyzed. I didn't even really remember how I got there. I had 8 stitches to my head. I had 4 replaced 4 times. And I had cracked ribs, and I couldn't work. I was in crutches for months and agony. And I know that I'll forever walk with a slight limp because of that incident.
But it takes so much strength for you to share your story, and I hope that you understand that we appreciate the fact that you were able to just open up. But Dee, just bring it back to you. We spoke about like the music, you know, that's interwoven into this piece, but why contemporary dance to actually showcase and tell the story at GBV and domestic violence?
I think I was very lucky to be trained in classical ballet and African dance.
Wow.
So, and contemporary dance. So what contemporary dance does, it finds the middle ground. Because you are able to borrow from the Western, you are able to borrow from the African, and you are able to borrow from movement. So contemporary dance enables us, because again, we had to be mindful of our audiences. When you do movements, you want them to be real, because you want your audiences to believe what you're doing. And contemporary dance, again, because we don't use words all the time, enables us to do that with movement, like flawlessly. That's why contemporary dance.
That's why you chose that. I think that's so smart. And the fact that like we can also see the emotions through it, and like this being such an honest story to tell. The fact that you got to direct it, I also can't imagine that it was easy with some of these harrowing scenes, but I'm just excited to go and see it, because having a black woman's hand behind this is also something so magical.
I think directing it again, it's very, very interesting. Again, I'm growing in it, and I see my dancers growing. Because every time, and I say to the cast, every time we put a step there, we must never find ourselves putting a step to go across the floor so that reflects our music, because we've got a set time for the work. But every step we put in, the why we are doing what we're doing is very important. And they'll know I'll stop and say, stop. Why? And I'll say, I don't believe this, because I'm there sitting and thinking, our audiences is everybody. For this show, we've attracted even people who've never watched a show before to come and watch a show. And the lesson is for them to come out with something out of it. But for them to be able to have a takeout, they must be able to relate with it.
No, 100%. But I need to ask, any one of you can answer this rather as we wrap up the interview. I've heard that there's also going to be some form of like donations to the community and money that is made through this actual production. I don't know if you want to touch on that so people at home know.
Do you want to? Okay.
Yes, please.
We are sisters, so we will always do this.
So we would be taking some proceeds to Anaghaso Empowerment and some to Hope Albums. And in the spirit that we want to say to people that, you know what, silence is not golden. Silence silences you. And that when we bleed onto others, and therefore wound them perpetually. So I think that's the message.
That is definitely the message, and the both of you being here today has been just so amazing, because I can tell that you've put your heart and your soul into this. So the
24th and the 25th of January. I know it's January. On Friday, it's at 7 p.m. and on Saturday, we have 2 shows at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. And that's at Soweto Theatre.
At Soweto Theatre. Thank you so much, ladies, for being in here and being courageous enough to also just have this conversation, because it's definitely not easy. But Mosebetsi Uluetsang is so, so beautiful.
And I think we also just want to thank the National Arts Council with the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and the President, Employment Stimulus. They really, really assisted us a long way. And we just want to say thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, ladies. Well, you've heard it from the ladies. This is definitely a production that is worth to go and see. So make sure you head to Soweto Theatre. For now, though, we're going to take another ad break. Make sure to engage with us at Trendz on SABC on X. Roboya just now. You are still tuned in to SABC News Channel 404. Now it's time to appreciate the power of the voice. The spice it adds to any video or other sounds just takes a sonic experience to a whole new level. Selepe Maifadi recently had a chat with Brand South Africa's Play Your Part ambassador and highly revered voice actor Chilu Lemba at Sony Vision in Branston, Johannesburg earlier this week. Lemba has recently been awarded the Outstanding Performance, TV or Streaming Best African Voiceover Award at the 2024 Society of Voice Arts and Sciences Voice Arts Awards. Let's take a look at what it takes to be the best voice-over actor in South Africa.
In 2024, esteemed voice actor Chilu Lemba was awarded greatly for his contributions to the voiceover industry on a global level.
I got the Voice Arts Award from the Society of Voice Arts and Sciences in the US. It was for Best Performance Commercial TV or Streaming for Africa. So it was a good win. I mean, it's one of those award ceremonies that's it's almost like the Oscars for the voiceover industry or the Grammys. It's that big. So to be able to win one of those is I think a big accomplishment.
It's the third time Lemba bags this prestigious award.
How's it going, man? Not a flex, but I didn't think I was gonna take it because the competition is stiff.
Lemba has found community and support from his peers in the industry, allowing him to add his impeccable voice to great productions for over 30 years.
What's unique about the voiceover industry is that we're all colleagues. So before the awards show, even though I'm nominated against, two people from Nigeria, we're in the same WhatsApp group, we text each other and so on. And even the fact that I won, that happened at around maybe 9 p.m. LA time. I was in bed, probably waking up or whatever here. And the person that informed me that I'd won is one of the guys who was in the same category competing with me, and he was at the award ceremony. So yeah, it's a good thing. I mean, I feel happy about it. I've been in the industry for now like 3 decades, so it's good to kind of tick off some of those, little boxes. Something for the kids to see, about what Dad used to do when he was working. Yeah.
Lemba's voice was spotted at a very early age. As years went by, he ventured into radio and was presented with an opportunity that nurtured this destiny.
When people start telling you you've got a good voice, then maybe there's something in it, because we don't know what our own voices sound like. Now, I think, people who are in this era have a better chance of finding out, because we're always sending voice notes, so your voice is in a recorded form some way or the other. But back in the mid-90s, the only time you can actually hear your voice on something is if you go to a studio or if you record it onto like a cassette tape or whatever. So in my case, I was told pretty consistently, like Chilu's got a good voice by guys at school after the voice broke. And then when I started working at a radio station, there came a time when ads had to be recorded for clients. And so, after a while, I started being one of the target people for recording these ads. And then I started being more consistent, and here we are, like 3 decades later.
Having a great voice is great and all, but there's more to it. Caring for the voice and delivering a good sound for an advert requires skills that voice-over artists like Lemba have mastered.
So I guess there are 2 things. One is when you look at self-care of your voice, there are certain things that I do. Before I go into a session, I don't take drinks which have like milk in them, because that'll make your voice sticky. So there are things of that sort. But in terms of what you need to do in performance, in what you're kind of asking there, I think you have to be like a blank page when you get into a session, because the director, the script writer, the brand manager, all those guys have the vision of where they want this to go. And your job is to kind of bring your expertise, but go towards that vision. So the more open I am, if I come in here and I'm doing a voiceover for, say, a detergent paste, if I come in and I've already got a fixed idea of what I should do, then I'm not leaving room for direction, if that makes sense. So that's my approach. Usually when I go into a session, I'm kind of trying to get the pulse of what the people who've created the piece of communication want, and then I fall in. So there's so many ways or so many types of voiceovers that you do. hard sell where you're selling things. There's an urgency in the delivery, or sometimes it's soft sell where you're trying to convince somebody, but not so aggressively, you know. So there are different ways in which you do it. But once you get in the studio, then somebody tells you which direction they're going, then you lock into that.
Outside of the management, how would you advise someone who wants to get into the career?
The more everyday you sound, the more authentic and sincere you might be, and that's got an appeal in itself. So you find that if you've got a trained voice or a voice that sounds kind of like mine, sometimes that's not what the client's looking for, because they want the everyday sounding person. So I think the spectrum of opportunity is very wide. And what you probably need to do is there's a lot of content on YouTube. Just kind of, get your head around what the voiceover industry is like. If you've got a studio in your area and, they're willing to have you maybe be in on a session, you have to obviously be decent when you request that. But just kind of be a fly on the wall for a bit to see what this entails. So there are many opportunities for you to learn stuff, and I'd say lock into that and then figure out, whether that's for you.
Now AI has come up with a lot of challenging things. Is the growth of technology and where we're going on the web kind of like creating a scarcity or a bit of a fear or a challenge to voiceover artists?
The good thing is that AI is not yet at the point where we can compete with it. I say that with caution because AI is improving, and the websites like 11 Labs, which have some very convincing voices there. And for a long time, AI voices were robotic and not fun, but they've been changing. So in some instances, AI is exceeding, but the guys who are, I think, skilled and who put a lot into their craft and who are all about excellence, we're still, with a little bit of an edge over AI. But it's improving, and the thing is, you can also, at this stage, clone your voice. So I have attempted that where I put my voice on a couple of platforms. They're password encrypted, so it's only me that can access them. But I can type in a script and it reads it in my voice. It doesn't have my complete nuances and stuff like that because it's still to get there. But for some stuff, I can convincingly just, send you a script and you might think it's me, but it's AI acting as me. So I think we're getting to a very interesting phase. The only thing that I think has to be, a big theme now is how it's going to be regulated.
Regulated or not, distinct voices like Lemba's were clearly meant to mesmerize and create the best sonic experiences of this era. So young Chilu, say you're 13. Is this the vision you had? Did you see yourself here?
Far from. At 13, I was a rapper cat, so I thought I'd be getting hip-hop Grammys as opposed to voiceover awards. So no, I didn't see this trajectory in any respect, but you can see clues of what you become when you look at your past. And so, I think it was essentially what I'm doing now is probably a date with destiny, but at 13, I had a different idea of where it was going to land.
2025, where do you think it's going to land?
2025, that's a good one. I think, it's one of those situations where I probably have to, every once in a while, when you've been doing this for so long, you have to find ways in which to kind of reboot your passion. Because if not, then you'll just kind of be treating this as a job. And even though I've been, like I say, 3 decades in, I'm still learning. And so I'm still hoping to give better performances, check out different opportunities that I haven't interacted with. There's stuff like gaming, which is big now, wasn't big when I started out. And just new adventures, but within the same scope of what I do.
New adventures that we certainly cannot wait to hear.
To everyone who's been involved in my journey, including camera person, wifey, right?
Oh man, that is exactly who I'm trying to be one day. But just like that, the show is over, skerdovers. But Trendz, thank you so much for choosing us this evening. We will be back though again next week, Friday, 8 p.m. sharp, right here on SABC News Channel 404, doing what we do best at Trendz Live, and that's giving you the best in arts, culture, lifestyle, travel, and all things entertainment. My name is Candy, and until next time, you know what I like to say, stay sweet. Good night. Bye.